recitation of the 265 Testament, voice number 7, Book of Revelations. You may proceed.
It is now, as it happens, 2:07 in Bangui. In some sound yet plain structure, an individual named Fatima who is quite sizable and imposing, reads the warning message from a recipe clipping. She suddenly collapses. Her head kisses the floor. It receives her embrace, grateful for their eventual meeting. Fatima cries, and her cassava makes a reappearance, bubbling within the cauldron of her mouth. A waterfall of sweat pours down her forehead. She struggles to breathe, but her attempts result in a second digestion of cassava. She chokes and begs for air. The painful cycle continues. Her head kisses the floor. It receives her embrace, grateful for their eventual meeting. Fatima cries, and her cassava makes a reappearance, bubbling within the cauldron of her mouth. A waterfall of sweat pours down her forehead. She struggles to breathe, but her attempts result in a second digestion of cassava. She chokes and begs for air. The painful cycle continues. An explosion of footsteps race down the stairs. There stands Jean, her youngest son. Oh, would it be Jean? His thumb hidden within the confines of his mouth. He cries and rushes to her as fast as his infant feet could take him. Ayan glides in front of him. She yells something. Fatima cannot distinguish between her voice and Jean's weeping. Jean rushes out the door. Ayan dashes to the sink and fills a bucket of water, rummages through the kitchen for a towel, unrepentant for the mess she leaves. Grits her teeth in frustration. She hides her face, but Fatima can see the tears. Ayan dashes to the sink and fills a bucket with water, rummages through the kitchen for a towel, unrepentant for the mess she leaves. She yells something. Fatima cannot distinguish between her voice and Jean's weeping. The roof is called to heaven. Whispers of wind encircle Fatima. Murmuring affections, they comfort her. Mother coos. Father laughs. Reverberations echoing within Fatima. Gunshots of light pierce Fatima's walls. There stands Jean, her youngest son, his thumb hidden within the confines of his mouth. Wings of silk mask her. She radiates. The sun prostrates before her figure. Fatima wishes to touch her. She shakes her head. Braids lounge over her plump shoulders. She is all hair, no face. She touches the top of Fatima's nose. Silence utterances as time is paralyzed. It is now, as it happens, 2:07 in Bangui. In some sound yet plain structure, an individual named Fatima, who is quite sizable and imposing, reads the warning message from a recipe clipping. Do not consume beans unless properly soaked. She throws away the clipping and continues her cooking. It is now exactly 2:08 in Kinshasa. In some dim yet orderly accommodation, a youth named Irina, who is rather large, reads a stained manuscript. She smiles a tiny smile.
Great. Now, was there anything in particular that you noticed about the text?
It was repetitive. There were a couple of lines that repeated several times throughout it.
Thank you.